Talk about
Had a
it.
few sarsaparillas. What of it?
That's seriously.
Mike.
Flips one airplane.
Is this too tight?
No, up to your mouth as close as you can go. This will stop the spin and the noise.
Yep.
How's that?
Good. Can you hear my voice okay in your headphones?
I don't want to, but I can.
You're welcome. Hey, Bob, you want to do this car thing? You're going to get to know me real well. We're going to be good buddies, bro. Josh, can you give me some more noise in my headphones, please? A little volume. Up. Yeah, I'm good. Do you guys want more volume in your headphones, or Bob wants less?
Leonardo?
Leonardo.
Is this, can you hear me okay? You can't really hear me okay because it doesn't matter. Can you hear me okay, Jack?
I can hear you right now.
Yeah, 10 feet away, I can hear you talking straight to me.
Okay, welcome. This is, by the way, that was the intro. Leonardo and Jack are behind the scenes today at Bob Nilsen's house. We are Bricks, and Bricks is with Hypercar Ranch. Also, Bob Nilsen and Wills Nilsen are we call them founders now. We're going to make Hypercar Ranch basically an official physical entity coming up here. So
it is a physical entity. It's a real entity.
There we go.
And a very spiritual one, too.
So how do we call it when we introduce you guys? Founders of Hypercar Ranch?
We are people that happen to have Hypercar Ranch.
Okay, so this is...
Wills can be the chairman, CEO, president, and grunt worker.
Everything. And you're the intern?
No, he's the gopher, and I am the do whatever the gopher wants me to do.
Intern. Yes, I'm the intern for Jack and Leonardo.
I'm not the assistant intern. I'm the assistant to the intern.
Oh, he's an office guy, too. Michael Scott. We got jokes. Okay,
all
we
day.
know who we are. People that watch this stuff already kind of know who we are. Just for context, Bob, they know Bricks. Hypercar Ranch is kind of new to a lot of these people. So we'll do introductions today. The goal of today is to introduce you guys to a broader audience. And Wills and I have kind of been developing an online persona where people know us together, but this is a new dynamic. So you guys share your story.
Very new.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go?
Sure.
I think, Brett, if you ask some questions to keep us on track so we get what we need,
okay,
and then we'll let him do what he does best, which is hap.
Yap.
Wills?
Yap.
I just said, why don't I go? And then you cut me off and told me basically that Brett should run it.
Exactly.
Brett, why don't you run it?
I got it.
We know who's in charge here. Wills.
Exactly. See? So, okay, Bob, why don't we do this? Because we're just going to give directions so we go on this. But I think what I'm most interested in, I think most people, there's cars, and we're going to get to all those, and we can go through those in the future. People, I'm really interested in the dynamic of you two, father and son, getting to do this together and having such a cool, I really get along good with my dad. We're really close, and we don't have a common hobby that we share. And I admire this a lot. It's really, really cool. It inspires me to try to find something with my dad that we do. So why don't you give us an intro, Bob? When did Wills kind of, my understanding of this is that Wills, you kind of got the car thing, like put the gas on it recently and then it became a thing, or was this always like this?
I've been into cars. I didn't have money for cars.
Still don't.
One car.
Oh, yeah.
It's broken.
Derek.
Yeah. Anyway, let him go.
I actually got into cars just through a friend who started talking to me about it, and was a superstar in cars, an older guy, and I bought my first car, and it all started from there. And then he was a Porsche expert, and he said, "Look, Bob, you've got to get a CGT, a Carrera GT." And I had no idea what it was, and now I know that to many people, the CGT is like the most supreme analog car, without any computers on board. It's just most powerful, most exciting car out there. Now, there are many other cars that fit that mode, but the CGT is right up there. So do you want me to go back on the story a little bit?
Yeah. How long ago was that, just quick, when you got the CGT?
That was probably about, 5, 6, even 7 years ago.
5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the collection as it is now has really kind of like, you're turning it, like it's growing quickly, and you guys are moving through a lot of cars. I just was interested in where that explosion started, because you could be a car guy your whole life. But
I can answer this.
Yeah.
So originally started with a Porsche Turbo S. Great car, white, kind of COVID.
That's true.
Right? $160,000 car, driver's car, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't know this. I put 5,000 miles on it, and to save my life, never even had to have this conversation, COVID sent prices up so fast and so hard that after a year in driving, it was a $190,000 car, and it was like, wow, that's really kind of crazy to own a really cool car. It's fun, it's beautiful, and
Yeah.
you're not losing money on it. And that was, I think, what really kickstarted kind of the cars was that.
But here's really kind of the central theme of the story. I've now had 2 Porsche Turbo Sports, okay? And I bought the one, and I had only driven it about 4 times. It was in the garage. I did not really feel comfortable, and I'm not flashy. I don't want to be flashy. I drive a truck. We have a little cattle ranch. I like spending a lot of time out there. You know, I'm most comfortable in jeans and a pair of boots.
Yeah.
But I love the cars. They were artwork to me. And so it started to grow. But it's grown, you know, very quietly, and we've only told a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only shared, you know, more recently we've brought people in through the garage and said, here, come and take a look.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you just a little bit more about what's
please.
happened since then?
Yeah, please. Absolutely.
So we've now, surprisingly, and I'm not even sure how it happened looking back, but we've got a pretty good collection of cars.
Yeah.
When Porsche just had opened their place, they had our cars in the number 1 spot, number 2 spot, and one of the other high spots. And I only say that, not to be bragging, but to say we've got some really good cars. But this is basically, I'm coming out.
There it is.
And
the tagline.
Finally, 67 years later.
I mean,
we knew it.
I mean,
it's really brave at 67.
No. Let me,
Especially in Utah.
My mom's okay with it too.
Really?
Yeah.
let me just say,
Yeah.
I have
buy a Volkswagen.
I've
Subaru.
thought, and a few people have talked to me about saying, look, it's a little selfish, honestly, and it's such beautiful art to hide it in a garage and to not share it with anyone. I just didn't. I thought
Didn't look at it that way.
I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was not wrong, but that there's a better way, and so I want to share it. I want to use it to help fund charitable events. There's another guy, good old Ron, Brad. I think the world of Brad, a supercar Ron.
Yep.
And we help each other. I'll send him a car too. He sends me a car too. And so we want to do anything we can to promote good causes and help people and share this beautiful art that I absolutely love.
I love that. Was he the one you're mentioning, someone that inspired you and kind of maybe changed your perspective from these cars shouldn't be out in the wild with me because it's boasting to I should show these to people because we can actually generate a lot of interest, which then can be turned into some positive influence for people or inspiration. Like, was Brad the one that had that inspirational talk, or was there a moment?
It was me for 3 years pushing. But
All credit
no,
to
I
Will.
think honestly, like Jeeves, Cars and Coffee, amazing guy.
Yes.
And I
Love
think it was
Jeeves.
just over time. A big part of it, I would say, is, you asked about our relationship.
Yeah.
Great father, and he's raised all of us, my siblings, to be our own people, be independent, chase our own paths. No
Yeah.
silver spoon of here's your career, here's your job.
Yeah.
And it's a funny story, but for the last 5 years, I was away from home, out of Utah, working and building a business that was directly competing with his business.
Right.
And
This was in pest, right?
this was in pest control. And I've always wanted to work with him and do things with him and, emulate him and inspired. He's my dad, he's my hero.
Sure.
But work was always a very, very sensitive subject, right?
For what reason? Because I think we know, but there might be some nuance here.
We were competing.
We were directly competing, right? It's like Caleb, who's sitting over here, one of my sales reps and one of my best friends. I mentioned earlier, he's probably stolen a couple $100,000 of accounts from his business.
But let me put it this way: we started together, and then there was a split. And I don't want to get into that, but let me put it this way: it's this an interesting little fact, at least for me. I hope for everyone out there. But my dad and I are 38 years apart. He's a fourth-born. I'm a fourth-born. Will's and I are 38 years apart, and he's a fourth-born. Now, whether there's something in birth order or the number of
Astrology.
years or whatever,
Bob has many facets.
it may be astrology, it may be spiritual, it may be not, but
It's a cool
Will's, I love all of our kids immensely. But Will's and I have a number of really close shared interests, and we do a lot of things together. And he has been the inspiration for me, and he's been pushing this thing. He got you know, Hypercar Ranch going, and he's and I'll tell you, I trust him. I come to him for advice on a lot of things in life. He's just a young guy. You would think that, you know, a teenager wouldn't even go to him. But I honestly, he is very knowledgeable and he's wise. He's an old soul.
He is.
And I love him, and he's the inspiration behind this.
But to that point, and thank you for that.
Yeah,
I'll
Bob,
take it
that
with a
was
grain
nice.
of salt. It was very nice. Never heard something like that before.
Take it with a grain of
Sitting here
salt.
uncomfortably going,
I
wow,
know.
that's really nice of him to say that.
My favorite part about your guys' family, too, is your ability to receive love. I'll take that with a grain of salt. Moving on.
But no, it was, honestly, the cars were where we could really connect.
Yes.
Because it was a way to work together and to have a hobby together where I was so into the business, and he's running a massive business at GreenX, and, you know, I'm out of state, and it's like, we're not calling and talking about work. And so it's, well, what's a common ground we have where we can really still have an amazing relationship without letting, you know, jobs get in the way of our relationship, which so happens to so many families. And, you know, working together gets messy, and working against each other can get really messy. But at the end of the day, cars were really what allowed us to just spend time together, to talk, to enjoy our hobbies together. And then, you know, I ended up moving home about 8 months ago, and that's where it was really like, hey, I'm here full time. We're no longer competing against each other. Let's work together. Let's do hobbies together. Let's spend more time together. Like,
If I may, sorry to interrupt you,
No, go for
Wells,
it.
but conversely, he has found some other guys through his own work and just hustle, and is developing one of the best water companies. What do we call it?
Moreau Water.
Moreau Water.
Marco.
Sorry, I'm just
Whatever.
thinking of
Reverse osmosis.
full home reverse osmosis water, which is, we could get into another time, but it's incredible. It's clean, no plastics in it, no chemicals, no arsenic, all of that. But we've had a lot of fun with the cars, and we've got 3 back there. We've got the red over there is a GT2 RS.
Yep.
Low miles, near perfect car. The other one is a very special car. We'll talk about that on another time. And the one behind me is of the holy trinity of cars, the top dog.
Yep.
And it's the Porsche 918 Spider with very low miles. There are only about 4 red
Spiders.
Wysock Spiders in the country that we know of, and that's been confirmed by other people. But anyway, we've got some other cars that we'll show at another point in time, but this is kind of the introduction. And as I said, letting people know that we're going to share more about the cars, what we do, and this passion, and make it available.
I love that. And this is where Wills and I linked up on a lot of stuff, where you're talking about good people and how you just run into stuff, and people forge their own path and end up bringing other networks together. And Will is really good at that. And I'm super grateful because we're doing this other thing downtown where we're doing bricks. We all have our own companies, Miro. But the cars is, for me, a big passion of mine. And it was the thing I like the most about them is the connecting. You get to form bonds with people like this. Like, if we just had a business where we were trying to do business services together, we wouldn't be here. You just wouldn't be around having dinner with your dad and having families connect together. And that is, to me, what I watch, and is immediately apparent with you guys. You get to share this kind of special hobby together that can be turned into something really great, and even a business. This becomes a cash flowing business. We'll get into that, Bob, about how we could do that. All those funds can go to charity and all this, but for me, it gives purpose, and why integrating the cars into the business downtown was so important. I like doing business. I like strategy. We all like making progress in life, but I don't like doing it in a transactional method where you're always having those type of conversations where you feel like you're negotiating. So it just gives us a really cool avenue to have something else to do and talk about.
That's been huge for me. I mean, a lot of, opening this business in Utah took a massive, massive career leap, scary, risking everything I've built to walk away and rebuild. And the cars connections, right? Going to a car show, you connect with other people, and having that common ground is what builds relationships where then business follows, because people want to do business with friends.
100%.
And let me and Brett, you've done a phenomenal job with what you're doing and Bricks. It's
Thank you,
very cool. I love going down there. I love the feeling. I love the culture you've built.
We love having you there, Bob. Honestly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
honestly, as
Thank
it
you.
relates to cars, I made a few mistakes buying the wrong cars, having to turn them, and then I found some people, and it sounds like a commercial, and quite frankly, it is a little shout out to them.
Yeah, let's do
But
it.
Merit Partners, Jonathan and Bert, these guys are awesome. They're arguably they're some of the best in the car world. Honorable, smart, way ahead in terms of their thinking, and they have helped me and Will's put this together.
They're your sourcing partners on this?
Yes, largely. I'll do some. I've spent a lot of time learning about Porsches in particular, and Ferraris, and they fascinate me. They're beautiful.
That's why your
They're
Lamborghini
they're
can't be in
exciting.
here.
So
knew
anyway,
it driving up here.
I know we're going probably a little long here.
We're actually not long. We're not even a quarter of the way in. The point of these are long form, and we get into a little bit deeper stuff. Like the way I push these, Bob, is the cars are great, and they're here, and they're part of the subject. I like having these personal conversations with people and telling stories, and we all think because we're a little self-conscious, nobody wants to hear any more about me and this. I promise you, everybody online is curious about the story, is curious about where your guys' life started. We're going to have so much more time to keep going, but this one, like, don't feel like we got to finish anything here. Let it run on. If you got stuff you want to talk about, so many people care about that. Everyone just jumps in and says the 918 and take pictures of it. We have all seen that online. I promise you. There's no other stories about where Bob started and how you have a relationship with your son. And we met this thing downtown and Merit Partners and what's becoming important in your life.
You know, I'll tell you something that's I don't think I've really realized. I've realized it, but not as fully as I have just in this moment. And that is, my wife is Kathleen. She's an extraordinary woman. Very talented. She is a non-denominational hospital chaplain. She works largely with people who are dying, but we've been married almost 37 years, and she has allowed me the freedom to do a few things that many would not, and to take a few risks.
Yeah.
And it's been great because I have one life to live. She has one life to live. And so we've tried to give each other space to live our lives, at the same time having the unity and the together and 5 kids, and we've lived all over the world. That's just been part of our story.
Yeah.
Maybe for another day.
I was going to ask you a question right away with that. Big, busy CEO, moving all over the world with a family and kids. Do you feel like part of her life had to be dedicated to keeping that together while everything was moving and family was going? Did you ever feel that as a CEO and husband? Be like, I feel like I'm doing my path and Kathleen is there to keep that all together with us, but it's not necessarily her path.
Can you imagine raising 5 kids in a place like Singapore?
It's not easy.
Well, Singapore or Africa, where it was just after Mandela came into power and it was a murder capital of the world. We were in Australia twice. Beautiful, wonderful. She loved it. She loved it because it made her job very interesting.
Yeah.
She got to raise kids and
Learn cultures
take
and
them
give service.
to school. We traveled a lot. We traveled all over the world as we were.
Is that what she did at the different places? Where did she, like, give me a little more color on what Kathleen was doing?
She was with 5 kids. She was a mom, and that was a handful. And then
with these kids.
I'll tell you, in Africa, just as a side note, she helped establish a little preschool. And it was when I went out there and found where she was going, it was a very dangerous part. And she got the chiefs of a couple of different tribal groups together to allow the kids and to allow the women and the men and the other people to bring together. Because some of the kids were being abused on the way to school, little kids. And she said, we can't have that. And so she did something about it. And so she's lived a very full life and done some really interesting things. She's liked the travel. For the kids, I think it's been both extremely good and in ways difficult. you know, and so they got a little bit of a mixed bag, but
Yeah.
they got what they got, and
That's why we are.
this is
the way we are.
this is where we are.
But no, with my mom, and I'll speak to this. She's one of them, like, not just because she's my mom. She's one of the most incredible women I have as an influence in my life. And you know, it's like kids move out of the house. What's next? Being a full-time mom, 5 kids all over the world. That's one chapter of my career. But now that the kids are gone, how am I growing? What am I learning? And she works a very gnarly job. She's night shifts at the hospital with people that are dying, and she's sitting there and
That's a heavy job.
Heavy job.
Yeah.
And that's where I have so much respect for her of just, she just wants to be growing and learning and helping, and she's not, you know, there to sit back, and she does not give a damn about the cars. She drives her Toyota Highlander, and she is just a very intelligent, wise, and just very whole, amazing person.
I actually got that at the grand opening. Met her very briefly. Was very busy, like had 1,000 5-minute conversations. I was exhausted after that day. But one of them that stood out was with your mom. And I'm not just saying this because we're on the podcast. I was like, the way when she speaks and her energy is very intentional and welcoming, but like very intelligent and like quick on having conversations. It's engaging. And I was like, dang, I was as interested to have Kathleen on a podcast one day as any of the cars. It's like, we should all do it together, right?
You picked a word that describes one of her many attributes, but intentional.
Yes.
And inspiring, and she knows what she is all about. She doesn't need a lot of feedback because she's got just built-in.
No.
She's got built-in just tons of self-confidence, and she's more concerned about listening and then helping and assisting and communicating, and she's awesome.
What a great woman.
So
we'll have her on. I've already got a few ideas in my head for the next ones.
It will be a riot. You know, I'll give you some good fodder to ask her a few questions that
I'll poke the bear a little bit.
No, it doesn't seem like the kind of woman you test. I'll just be like, what would you like to talk about today, Kathleen? So what do you think with doing this, Bob? You're new to doing this media stuff. We've been doing it a long time. I find it so entertaining to watch you and the clips that Wills puts out. What is your biggest fear? Now, we have all this excitement. We have what we're going to do and put this out. What's your biggest fear with the media and doing this and getting all this out there?
It's new. I mean, it's just new.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the response will be. I don't seek. I'm in a lot of ways, you know, I'm outgoing. I'm an extrovert, but I'm also in certain ways shy.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wills will know I've not wanted to get out there and be in front of a camera and be out there doing this. But I don't know if it helps people, but if it can help people through charitable causes, and people can get excitement for seeing, this is art. I mean, look at these things. They are, to me, I love art, but this is art, and it's functional, and it's interesting, and there are a lot of people out there that don't get a chance to see these type of cars. And we've been to shows, and it's really amazing to see how excited people are. And so I hope it's well received. If not, well, okay, you got to take a few risks in life, and that's how it is. You know, we do our best, and
I'll add to this,
and then just let it go.
My take on it.
Moving out of the sun.
Yeah, moving out of the sun a little bit.
I'll move in here. There.
So,
we still in frame. We good? We good? Renardo.
So, what I see
dog.
with this is obviously, you know, sharing these. I take cars to shows. You see kids almost cry because a P1 is their dream car. They've never seen it, and they've never ever thought they'd see one.
Yeah.
Right, and it's inspiring. But two, one of the biggest blessings I've had in my life is to be raised by 2 very intentional, intelligent parents that really care.
Yeah.
Right, and in some degree as a kid, I've pushed back going, why are you guys doing this when my friends' parents are buying them a new car when they're 16?
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
where I think...
You didn't get a new car?
Subaru.
Oh, he knew.
No,
There were
he,
three
he,
siblings
He
first.
knew you were a lesbian.
He he's lucky he got a car at all, and
Period.
it was a beater hand me down through
Grandma, older
three
sister,
people.
older brother,
That's
older
true.
sister, me.
That's the way to do it, though.
No,
great.
Look at the drive they have. Wills and I did a podcast. I don't know if you know this. And it was actually one of my favorite ones we've done because I learned a bunch of stuff about, and I won't reiterate a lot of it because I want you to reiterate, but through this stuff with your dad and this type of thing, there's not a lot like, explain the path with like, we're not giving cars, we're not paying for this, the inheritance part, like that I think is really interesting and a question to people. Everyone wants to ask the first thing. Are these Will's cars?
From my take,
Heavens no.
The path has been so much different. Yeah.
from my take, and I'm
this
grateful
in
for
front
it.
of your
Is very grateful for it. Was that like I've felt like I was always I have to go do it for myself,
Yeah.
and I think the biggest piece of it too was I have an amazing example in a mother and a father. If I want to be like them one day, I gotta go learn and do the hard things they did in order to be like them.
Right.
Right? They didn't have a golden parachute and these handouts that got them to where they are. And part of the whole journey of life is learning, struggling, going through it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they enabled that, right? Like I'm 11 years old and they won't get me a cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go wash trash cans, door to door, knock on doors,
I
wash them.
washed a few trash
us.
cans just to be fair.
And I went and bought my
But
own
he
cell
really,
phone, right?
He really
Like,
did it. He did
I
it.
love that. Well, so Bob, my grandpa told me this quote. He was an old school guy that kind of instilled the same values in me. But he said, because he had some money too, but our mom and dad never did, and we didn't get it, right? But we'd be around his house, which was bigger. So I always wondered and asked. I'm like, Papa, can I have some food money for lunch? And he's like, no, absolutely not. And I asked him when I got older, like, why do you don't give me anything? He's like, because son, I want you to be. But to be, you have to become.
so true.
No, that's so true.
And one quick on this, the cars, right?
Yeah.
Love the cars. I feel like they're my kids. It's my collection. They're his cars. I went and bought my own GT3.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
The most exciting car that ever came into the collection was my GT3 because I went out and blood, sweat, and tears earned it for myself, and it was
Yeah.
my car.
Yeah.
And I get all the pushback. Oh, it's your dad bought this car for you. And it's like, no, he has his cars. I went and worked my ass off and was competing against his business
Excuse
to
me?
buy my own car. Excuse me. But no, back to what we were talking about earlier. I think what I really want from, doing more media and, really getting out there is to get his stories, his advice, his feedback, his lessons recorded because I want
Yes.
my grandkids
Posterity.
to know Papa Bob.
I love it.
Right? I want
Yes.
the world that's out there that, all these young guys, they ask and we get DMs, hey, what advice do you have for me? And there's so many people on Instagram with their SVJ or their flashy car that are selling a course or giving advice. And it's like, these guys are 24, some good advice, a lot of it's just regurgitated, but like,
Yeah.
okay, real experience, real
Yes.
father of 5 kids, businesses, different industries he's built. What is the real advice you would give to the world and the people that are really seeking it and hungry for it?
Yeah.
That's a lot harder to come by than the cheap, quick, flashy stuff that gets pushed with, influence on Instagram.
For sure. And
Well,
it's rare.
let me just add to that. If something we say fridge worthy, which means cool things or something special goes on the fridge.
Oh, okay.
We have our family values that we put together years ago in Australia.
Yeah.
That's on there.
Is
we
it like a point form list?
It's a list of what we strive to, who we strive to become.
Do you have some examples?
We are travelers.
We travel the world and read good books.
We strive to give service whenever possible.
That's cool.
We strive we want to be great best friends with each other.
We're lifetime students, always learning.
That's a good. Okay, so not generic.
And then the biggest
And
is
there's some
hard is good. Little white kid with a sumo wrestler trying to push, and my mom sharpied it on. Hard is good. It's been on the fridge since I can ever remember. Just hard is good. Every day, see it. Hard is good.
Can we get a picture of that before we go?
Yeah.
Is it there?
Yeah, I'll show you.
It's really cool, and
We'll
we
get Fernando
believe
to
we
get it.
believe hard is good. Kath and I both put ourselves through school,
Yeah.
put ourselves through business school, and had a mountain of debt. Had to pay it off, but I appreciated. I love school, but I got so much because I paid for it
Yeah.
the hard way.
Yeah.
And it took years to pay for it, and Kath the same thing. And I'll tell you, it's funny, but on a Venmo, if there's say, look, we're splitting this at dinner, Kath will Venmo the kids right afterwards, something for like $5.40. Now, I won't. I'm a little freer with that, but no, she's on it. Like if it's $2.50 that they said they owe, she will Venmo them. Is that true or not true, Wills?
I love
We
that.
got in a little spat because I'll buy dinner for the whole family and spend $400
Yeah.
and just be like, it's my
good.
parents. They've given me so much and brought me, like, I want to give back, and then I'll get a hit with a Venmo for $10. And I'm like, this doesn't go two ways. This is supposed to be reversed. But that's why I love her, because she's like, you are your own person.
I'm pretty sure it goes two ways. And but look, we do believe that one of the things that I think the kids have had instilled in them is a work ethic. They are all workers. They're not lazy. They've gotten out there, every one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of that.
What's your? Do you mind giving us? Because I'm sure people are going to be curious watching this. Just a quick, your origin, Bob. Like where you started. Like give us an idea. If you painted a picture of when you were a kid with your family.
Only boy, 4 sisters, which basically tells us everything from the origin story. 4 sisters, only boy.
Type of family, what state?
That you
like
know what?
farm family?
Honestly, that's true. He's busted my chops on it, obviously, and that's fine. I bust his chops back, but I love my sisters. It's very sad for me to say that in the last year or so, I've lost 2 sisters. A little sister. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I didn't expect a little sister. Man, so sorry. Did
Don't be
not
sorry.
expect this.
We'll just hold this space for you, Bob.
And an older sister. And we've got 2 more sisters, and we joke about who's going next. We think it's Diane. We tell her, we kind of tease her
And
about
really pulls
that.
it together.
But we grew up, we had enough. My dad was an engineer. My mom was a nurse when she needed to be, but we had enough. And I waited tables. I waited tables at the roof. Waited table. We went to Log Haven last night. I worked there. I started as a dishwasher at a place called not Five Alls, but I can't remember the name of the place.
This is a real movie story. A dishwasher.
I was a dishwasher, and then my sister came home and said, "There's a job for a busboy at Log Haven." I was there like 2 days later, and then at 16, I was waiting tables. I was tall, and I looked a little older, and so I got to wait tables in one of the best restaurants. I was making serious money when my friends were making like $2.20 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was knocking down, like $15 an hour, $20 an hour.
This was a long time ago. So that's a lot of
1930.
money.
Yeah, no, this is like 5 decades ago or 4 decades ago. No, this is in the
Pre-war.
20s.
Yeah, pre-war.
This is when Prohibition was in place.
You and John Dillinger.
But
can I ask something, Bob, before we
Yeah,
go off that
yeah,
real quick? Because I
yeah.
love actual moments, not for the purpose of being dramatic, but an actual moment there. I also lost my younger sister. So,
sorry.
yeah, thank you. It was 6-7 years ago, but very young, like in her late 20s, 6, 7. But with something that hit just there, was it not expected, or was it fast or sudden, or is it just because you're so close with your family that's...
Well, my little sister, 14 months younger, so we're almost like twins. We grew up doing almost everything together.
Yeah.
Our friends were the same, up until we were 22, 23. I was on my mission, and then my first job out of the University of Utah was Procter & Gamble, and I was fortunate enough to get that job, and I loved the U, and then Procter, and then I went back to business school, and then a lot of other things happened along the way, but I can't remember the question, but
just with
what
brought it up about your younger sister.
Just my little sister, we're very close, and my older sister, she suffered a lot with her health. Both suffered with their health, and both died very early.
It was both were a natural health thing that just...
Yeah.
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 So no sudden, but I actually, it's funny for me because when you had that moment there, it hit something inside of me because my sister died, some dramatic story like that, but I've never had that moment that you just had, and I sometimes feel bad about it, and I'm not sure why.
Well, I don't think, look, there are just certain times when I just don't cry. The moment is not upon you. You sometimes you're just not in a state to process.
Right.
There's been a lot of water under the bridge now, and it's just hit me more recently about this loss, and my two other sisters. I know we talk about it and we feel it. We miss them, and
what does it make you? Does it change anything in your perspective for the future and the time that we have right now that we all have left, whatever that is?
Well, turning 66, it wasn't that big of a deal. 67 was a bigger deal. At the same time, we sold GreenX to this fantastic company called Gridiron, a wonderful private equity group that we worked with. And we had worked with another one prior to that, some very good guys. But so I won't say I retired, but I slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Gave me a little more time to think. We still have the Sidecar donut, the best donuts they're the best donuts in the country. They are.
Bob is always selling.
Well, no, they are. They
Yeah.
are. We got
This
the
is professional.
no, we we got the award for the best donuts in California. Food and Wine did a study. They really are. And someone went out and did a study of Salt, Utah, and said these are the people's choice. But I'm proud of our people and what they do there.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm still involved with that, involved with the cars. We do a lot of other things. We like to be outdoors. We spend a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah.
Together.
Hunting,
we love
dirt
to
biking,
love
skiing,
dirt
fishing.
bike, fishing, hunting.
And what about your perspective about the time that we had? Because I turned 45 this year, and so
I will tell you one thing that I learned about parenting and just in general. I wish I'd learned it sooner. And that is that there's great family time, but one-on-one time is 10 times more valuable than family time. And so I'm working to have a plan. I have a plan where we have a kind of a formal time each year where each of the kids and I go somewhere. And
great.
then there's one-on-one time, to just catch lunch or to just catch up. And, my three daughters are fantastic. You're taking me to buy me a cowboy
Allie,
hat.
Jen, and Jack, 3 daughters.
Sorry, my two daughters. Sorry, Jack, 2 daughters. My 2 daughters and my daughter-in-law, who I consider to be a daughter.
yeah.
And Becca is awesome. So it's just naturally, there are 3 daughters.
What do you think? So, shifting over to this, Will.
We've covered a lot of stuff here.
This is what we do. This is the real life conversation.
I think if we touch on it, I think I get asked all the time, like, what do you guys do? I'm in the DM, so I tell people what I do.
like for work.
But I think people are really curious about your story because you talk about pest control and GreenX, but we haven't talked about the cheesy gordita crunch or the other stuff that comes with it.
The main punchline of Bob, the cheesy gordita crunch. Let's be serious. Bob's a great guy, but this is legend status.
Well, that was one of the least impactful.
You asked him the questions for that part of his life.
Honestly, it was kind of one of the least things I did. My buddy was a marketing guy. Kip Knight and I, we were struggling to come up with a name, and we were on a flight, and he goes, "We got this product. It's this, and this," and he said, "What? I can't figure out." And it's crunchy. It's got cheese in it. It's got a beautiful. I said, "Kip, this is a no-brainer. Just call it a cheesy gordita crunch." He goes, "That's it." Okay.
History was written.
For people that don't know, just in case so they're unclear what we're talking about.
By the way,
Bob named the cheesy gordita crunch for Taco Bell.
But
he made it.
We as a team, Taco Bell was really going downhill.
Yeah.
It was in the dumps. It was on its way to a very bad place. And we spent a lot of time building the culture. of caring about our customers, caring about our people, keeping our people. We turned over 10 stadiums, 400,000 people. If you put 40,000 people in a 10
Like
of those.
employees turnover.
Yes.
A year. So
And
people don't
so-
know, about 25 years ago, he was hired as the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Taco Bell. So that's kind of where this is.
Let's do the quick context, condensed version, and then, Bob, we're going to come back to you on that. Pizza Hut, correct?
Well, I did.
Taco Bell?
The quick run is University of Utah, Procter & Gamble. I got an MBA at Harvard. I worked for Bain as a summer associate. And then I left and I went to PepsiCo restaurants. We then wound up overseas, and then it changed, and PepsiCo restaurants became Yum, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. And I got a chance to run different businesses all over the world. We lived in Australia twice, Africa, Singapore, traveled all over, and lived all over the U.S. later. But then became the chief operating officer. We had a great turnaround through some magnificent work done by a lot of people. And then went to Burger King as president. That was a short stint. And then moved. People at HBS at a reunion said they thought that I'd had a psychic break when I left 11,000 restaurants to go run 6. Right.
Which had 6?
Well, 6 Café Rio.
Moved back to Utah.
And so-
bought Café Rio.
Café
So
Rio.
we had about 3 people. Our office was in the basement below a dentist's office.
Why did you do that?
I felt it was the right thing to do. I looked at other CEO jobs.
Yeah.
One of them
Krispy Kreme,
was
GameStop.
there were a bunch of different jobs.
GameStop.
One of them was one of the big paper like Staples. It was Office Depot, I think.
Right.
Be the president or CEO. But these 6 stores just were incredible. The food, everything. And so I said, went for it. We got the right people. I brought this private equity group in that was magnificent. Alan Carr, best in the business. He's done it over and over. Actually introduced him to the people at Zupa's. And, they've had a lot of success. And so we built it from 6 to about 130 or 40, and then we sold it. And so anyway, that was a great part of just my life and story. But we did an LDS mission for 3 years, came back, and I didn't have a job. I was chairman of Café Rio, but that's really not a job.
Yeah, it's bored. Yeah.
Right. So I got going and met a great guy, a fantastic person named Matt Flanders, who had a small pest control company. We were doing about $1 million. And so we got some financing. We got a little bit of money. I put some money into it. We got some really good people, and we went off, and we went from one of 20,000 companies out there to
11.
number 11 in the country.
Market cap or up?
Well,
Revenue.
No, that's
Revenue?
just number 11 in terms of good question. No,
I think it
just
was
in just in
size,
revenue.
Yeah.
And that was such an experience because that we built it from pretty much close to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt had done a really nice job laying the foundation and some principles and gave us a great name, cared about people, and doing things right. And then anyway, it was a great experience.
I'll add to this real quick. This is one thing that impresses me most
closer.
almost,
Yeah.
is that his entire career is in restaurants.
Yeah.
And, at the end of his career, he completely jumps industry into pest control
Yeah.
and didn't miss a beat. It's his same business principles, who he is. It's not, I have this niche of I'm not the food guy. I can do restaurants, but it's,
Yeah.
no, I did this with restaurants. Now watch me. I can go do this with a pest control business. I think it's really cool to see that it's not industry specific, right? It's different.
Have to say, it was just, and I don't want to sound like I'm boasting, but we were thinking about building this other little company that it was a part of the insurance industry and on quoters. So for term life insurance, you could get quotes on all the big companies with just a limited amount of information.
Yeah.
Now you can get that business has now exploded.
Right. Yeah.
They do it based upon your credit score, and you can get $1 million or $2 million with about 5 questions.
Yeah.
But we got involved in that. We wound up kind of buying out this little company. I brought a couple of really smart guys in, who and just handed it to them. I was an investor. I was on the board, and these couple of guys, Kevin Palmer and Mike Samuelin, and some other great guys just took it, and that's been a really great little success in software. Shoot, I didn't know I'd ever do anything in software, and mostly those guys did it because they knew what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the same principles applied. Get good people.
Right.
Take care of your people. When we finally wrapped that up and sold that, every person, it was a small company, every person in the company had shares and got a payout.
Love that.
And then got a second payout and a third payout.
Yeah. I love that. So
It was pretty cool.
with what Will's talking about here, where you jump across industries, do you agree with this perspective that core fundamental business principles apply when you use the term a business is a business is a business? If you do these X amount of things, 3 to 10 things right, you got a good product, a good culture, you follow a process. What would be that? First of all, do you agree with that statement? And second of all, being a guy that jumped through some big companies and different industries, what would be your advice to people out there who are saying, like, look, I want to try to be successful in my first business, and they can learn from your core principles of jumping between them to make them, I guess, if they have a block, most people want to do something, but they don't do it, and they think it's because I don't know this or I don't know that. But you jump from food to pest control. Is there anything that you think would be in front of your mind to share with those people to get them to have some inspiration to jump?
Yeah. First and foremost, the culture of a company, which I used to think was cheesy to talk about culture way back when. Now I believe it is the single most important thing in a company.
Culture.
And it basically,
So not product.
It's the truth of who and what the company is.
Yeah.
It had to just made up this little statement, and that is, culture is to a company what character is to a person. It's the true
that's
essence when you strip it all away.
That's good.
And then there's just a little cycle, and I'll be very quick, but you got to take care of your people.
Yeah.
And then if your people are happy, you got great people in, they want to be there, they will, and you've got to instill as part of your culture that take care of your customers. Take care of your customers. They tell friends. Word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising. Then you grow your sales. You grow it through getting more people through. You get it through frequency. And when you grow your sales and have wise controls, then you make a lot of money and you're able to reinvest it and continue to grow. Or you go a cycle of death where you skimp, you cheat your customers, cheat your people, and it's a cycle of death. And then secondly, no, it's not easy to move from company to company. You have to understand what the company is all about, the culture, what it is they do, and really immerse yourself because they're very different. And unless you get that, it's hard to apply those principles.
What is good culture to you, Bob?
Good culture is where people want to be, they want to stay. We took a poll once of our executive team at GreenX, and I think it was every person had been invited or come in through someone else on the executive team. So the whole team was, hey, to a friend, hey, come join us. You're great. And so we interviewed every person save, I think, one, and that one was just great.
Yeah.
In a unique position, and so it's a good place when people are inviting their friends or their family to say, "Come work here. This is a great spot. I love it here."
Yeah.
But you also have to get the results.
For sure.
So it's got to be a great place, and you have to deliver.
Yeah.
And if you don't deliver, the culture doesn't matter because you won't be around.
What's good culture to you?
Purpose.
Purpose.
Well, everybody needs to make money, a place where they make money, but good culture is a job where people stay there outside of the money, right? Like in the last business I was in, when we were first getting started, we weren't paying the most, we weren't the flashiest, but every single person was bought into the business, each other, the dream, what we're building together, that money only brings so much out of you, but to get the full, version of somebody, it's the purpose, the culture of why are we here together? What are we building for? With this new business I'm doing, right, the culture is so built around we're helping people and we're tackling something huge.
Yeah.
And getting people to buy into that, I'm bought into it, and I work with no thought of money.
Oh,
right?
totally.
Like it's
me too.
It's your culture is
You sold me on.
Okay, we're all paid. Cool,
Yeah.
but now what's really driving us, and are we on this, do we have the same drive in this mission?
Right.
That's the culture that moves mountains, because you don't have people nickel and diming you going, oh, I worked from, check out at 5, clock out at 5, but I worked until 5:30. I needed overtime. Like
no.
I'm just here to make it work because I'm in love with the process of what we're building.
Me too. And so I got a question for both of you that kind of is related on follow-up. If you don't have the ability, or if you don't have a structure or a company that's too large to be giving equity to everyone, and you can't keep re-incentivizing with more money because that doesn't work, how do you instill or generate or create an environment that inspires people like that?
Appreciation.
Well, I think, studies have been done, but forget about the studies. It's just common sense that people want to be treated well.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be treated with respect.
Yeah.
And it's priceless, and yet at times it doesn't cost anything to take a moment and to honor someone.
Yeah.
To do a shout out, to do recognition.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful.
People crave significance.
And then just the way you treat people, take care of people, and then create an environment where they want to be.
Yeah.
And where they're not afraid, they, will come to me or come to whoever. And I'm not saying it's perfect, because, people are nervous, but an environment where people are happy to be there. They want to come to work. They're not afraid. They're recognized. And by the way, I also believe so strongly in internal promotions. Wherever possible, you give the opportunity to your own people.
Sure.
You can't always do that because you might not have the right round peg for the round hole, but you look for that and you work hard towards that.
How do you balance that with becoming too friendly, or people getting too comfortable? Have you ever experienced that, where you're with them, you're in the group, you're part of it, you're giving praise, but
I would say watching him and learning this from him, people are very capable, and when you hold them highly accountable, you empower them to rise to that level.
Accountability.
And it's tough love, right? It's, hey, I love you and I expect the very best out of you because I know you're capable of it.
Right.
And I think that's where, I don't think he's ever been, convicted of being too nice to people, which he is extremely nice, but he's hard. Yeah. But people in the businesses love him more than a friend,
right? Because
he's pushed them past what they thought they were capable of, and he holds them accountable to that.
So it's not people pleasing. You're not being people pleasing. Yeah. You're kind, but you're structured and you're disciplined, and then you expect that of people at a very high level. So as much as you praise them, if they're not doing it, what's the proper governance if they're not doing it?
Well,
without hurting that culture?
Let me say this. I'd love to be friends with everyone in the company.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be respected than to be a friend.
Yeah.
And I'm certain there are people that say, I wish he did this differently. And, it works. Some people work better with others. And so it's not a perfect world out there. But I do believe that if you treat people with respect and make them part of your team and recognize them and then hold them accountable. Mm-hmm. Will's hit on the head. people, look, if you have a coach that doesn't care about winning, you won't win, and it won't be a fun place to be.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be a party town, but you want to have a party from time to time, at the right times, the right appropriate moments.
Party when you win.
But you want to.
Well, also because making a lot of money tends to inspire a good culture.
And I'll tell you, it's fun to win. It's fun it's fun to make a little money along the way.
Yeah.
And it's fun to, whatever our craft might be, bugs. It might be food. Hopefully not together. But it's just being excellent, being the best out there, what you can do.
Yeah.
Café Rio, we were really pleased. 3 or 4 years in a row, we're rated the #1 restaurant in the country. And Green X, we were so pleased on, like 3 or 4 years in a row. The industry, some of the people in the industry took a survey and found we had the best sales team.
Yeah.
That brings a sense of pride that we, through our principles, the end result was good.
I love that. Okay, Bob, the story of this stuff, coming to this, meeting Wills, meeting me, we're doing this thing now. We got the start of a podcast series, and we're going to do many more of these. What's the one thing that you're going to, with the car thing and Hypercar Ranch and doing all this media now, and you're going to be a celebrity, right? There's going to be people asking, "Oh, Bob, all the cameras."
No celebrity. no celebrity.
But if
that's the last of my goal.
We do this whole thing. I was just kidding. We do this whole thing. What's like something that would be the most fun in terms of an experience while we're doing all this stuff? Because Wills and I and all these people, we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff together. Do you have anything in mind that if you could have the most fun doing it, you'd be doing this?
Look, as I'm 67 and evaluating my life, I hope we can help some people along the way. And, if we can figure out a way to make a little money doing it too, I'm not opposed to that either.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it's mostly about helping people. And honestly, to do this with Wills that's probably as important as anything.
I pushed really hard on this.
We're having a riot doing it.
He, was so focused. He's like, I want to give back. And my parents have been beyond generous of what they've done to help people and how much they do. But where I really pushed with this was, you don't want to sit in a boardroom with a bland charity talking to people. It's like, let's get our passion, cars, and let's connect it with service and helping people and charity work. It can be all in one. And that's where I think it really started to take action of, let's do what we're passionate about and help people along the way, rather than having to pull ourselves away from what we really have fun doing to go help people.
Yeah. Do you know why there's a lot of alignment that was naturally in this, Bob, while we're having Wills and I are talking all this stuff? I got fired from my last company, which you knew about, the SaaS company. And that took 13 years, and it was all my identity and all this stuff. And when I was 42 at the time, and I'm like, I got one more kick at this. And I'm definitely not going to go try to build $1 billion company, and that's my why again. And so I made a list of things, and I'm like, I was fortunate enough to make a bunch of money and have the house and the pool and the cars in downtown Houston, and I was sad. And so fortunate, I'm not trying to be like a guy who throws up these like inspirational quotes. Fortunate was I got all the way there and was proven that's not going to do anything for you. And so to stay sad and have it removed gives you this opportunity to say, okay, you know what? Forget all that. What do I really love? And I know I love when I saw people in my company, my friends, winning, succeeding. I have all this energy and certain talents and the ability to network and build and brand and pull stuff together. And I love art and I love cars and I love media and I know the power of social media and being able to distribute all this stuff. Bricks was built because it was the whole business model. All those things were like, those are what I love. I'm going to move to Salt Lake, get a warehouse and make a business out of it. So it wasn't like Bricks was thought of as a moneymaker. I was like, these are all the things I love. My friends, supercars. I know media is great, branding. And if we all get together, we could all do that together. It's the experience of all these days in a row. We're going to get to hang out all the time. And I know, and the power of network grows businesses faster. The power of community, the consolidation and the economies of scale, all these things apply. But it was really about, we could make money and further this. I'll get paid. by making sure everyone else has success in their life. And we have fun doing it. So like Hypercar Ranch and Bricks at a fundamental level are based off the same thing.
Well, look, hats off to you. You're at the early stage, but you're already off to a fast start, and there's a good culture, and it's a fabulous place. I love being there.
Oh, we love it.
And I didn't mention two things that I would be very remiss if I didn't, in terms of what is important to me. But we've talked about it with Wills, but family, it's always, I mean, that's the center.
Yep.
And that is intertwined with a very strong spiritual piece. And I'm going to just go ahead and say it, whether popular or not, but in a loving God, a Father, and Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And I believe those two. I believe in there's a power, the Holy Spirit, that is a communicator and helps us. And those things, family and the spiritual side, are so critical to my life and everything that we do. And we've spent some time doing it. I mean, be it as a young guy, as a missionary for 2 years, or taking 3 years in the middle of Café Rio, right in the middle of the peak. My partner almost had a cow. He couldn't believe it.
You left in the middle of that?
Just walked
In
away
the
for
middle
3 years.
of the middle of the growth curve.
Took me to Ohio for high school. It was not my idea.
He wouldn't call me for about 3 weeks.
I bet.
But we got through it, and we grew the business.
Yeah.
And it was a good result for all involved. But I'll say, at least in that regard, the proof is in the pudding. Now the proof's got to be in the pudding every day, with family,
Yes.
spiritual things, and then the way you treat people.
I agree. And to me, the treating people, the family, throughout my whole life, I've been a bit isolated and kind of alone and all this stuff. My sister took a lot of care of our family. She always had struggles. And so as a kid, I kind of grew up by myself and then went into business by myself and all this stuff. And I was really lonely as the CEO of Cold Bore, really depressed. And that's why Bricks is so core to everything, is the family. I want to extend my family. I want to extend my friends. It's why I love doing this. This is my job now, is to have conversations with people like you and families like you daily. And great, we're doing a business that's going to further all the rest of it.
I had no idea that we were going to be spending this amount of time, but I will say I have thoroughly enjoyed it. This is completely. There was no preparation, no planning.
I'm sweating absolute buckets.
They're showing up. I'm glad that I don't. I'm sorry you're in the
You're
sun.
in the shade.
We're dying over here, Bob, but we're here to make
I wish you guys were in the shade, and I'm glad I am. But look, thank you. We're excited for the things that some of these other. This is just a taste of some of the other beautiful things that we can share, but hopefully we can learn things from each other that we can pass on, and hopefully there might be a kernel of wisdom somewhere that at times that we can share.
At least a grain of sand.
A grain of sand.
And I'll tell you right now, without all the information we share and all that stuff, people watching people like us that are having this moment, which is really inspiring and fun, and we have this conversation, and we're in front of successful stuff, and right there, people are getting inspired to be like, maybe I should just do what I love. And maybe I should just have real conversations with people. It seems to be really enjoyable.
Or you choose to love what you do, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
That can happen too.
I
I'm not
agree.
saying that's always the case, but that can happen too. Anyway, I don't mean to.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
100%. Well, and I hope you like this, Bob, because Wills and we're going on a bunch of stuff, and we want to start integrating all of this more and more. I like that you liked it. We'll do a bunch more at Bricks. We'll come up with more ideas, more directions, more podcasts, lots of cars,
Car
lots
reviews,
of family,
drives,
lots of
yeah.
business. We'll mix it all together and hopefully provide a ton of value. And at the same time, we'll continue to grow. We'd love to add you to the family, you and Wills at Bricks, and grow this. Like you said, the community and the energy is what really matters. And adding good people is really just what's happening like daily. We have all these cool people coming to us, so it'd be a great addition for us to go and do more of this.
If a couple of people take away one thing, then it was worth the time.
Well, I can tell you right now,
Narndo's already inspired.
Narndo, big dog. And then we've got Jack over there, who's just a bad A.
Bad boy.
He's a bad A.
Josh, you're a good man.
We say thank you. These guys are always here.
Caleb has been here supporting us, and look, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
This has been such a pleasure. Wills, I love you. I love you too.
I was waiting.
You know,
I knew it.
I do.
I do love you too,
we've
Bob.
We've spent the
Yes.
time, and hats off to you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It's really great. I know that getting into doing the media and sharing all this stuff, there's a little apprehension of starting it because you're like, you don't know. And coming in, and I know that it does also attract a lot of people that want to get in here for their benefit of being around stuff like this. I'm glad and very grateful and thankful that we've been allowed to come out here and share this stuff. Wills and I developed a relationship first, but for us to be able to do that is very important to me. And hopefully we can contribute to sharing this stuff the right way to make it valuable for everybody. It's really what our joint goal is here.
Thanks.
And maybe we'll do some cool shit along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
Stuff.
Will sent me a video of what you did this week. I'm not going to say it because it's a secret.
Oh yeah, no, we've got we
gonna have to do a
we
reveal.
we
Is
do
it coming?
we have
Like, is it going to be for the Fast Lane
look.
Drives?
I will
not that
say
soon.
we have a
PPF.
car that is coming, and it took quite a sacrifice of other assets,
Months of
but
contemplation.
it's extraordinarily special, and that's not an overstatement.
Can I tell you something?
Okay, and you can't break the secret.
Nope. I won't. I'm behind the veil.
But we should.
I
we
know,
should,
by
we
the
should,
way.
We should
Y'all
do a
don't
little
know.
podcast and tell people about it because it.
Can we plan a grand reveal?
Yeah,
Yo.
we can
Okay. Because I want to tell you something.
because it is pretty unique, pretty cool.
It's has been always, since a kid, Grail car. And it's like, I've never even seen one in real life. And I've seen a lot of cars, and they're cool, and I get that I'd sell my kidneys for, both of them. I'd have like a week left to live, it's fine. I don't care. So when Will sent me that video, I was like, oh my, I was like, did you see? I sent him text back like 20 bubbles in a row. They were all capitals. That was genuine. I was like, oh my God.
It's when we saw it, like it's a car, it's a piece of art, but my heart stopped for a moment. It was so beautiful, and this particular car is of such a high quality example that it'll blow your mind.
Are
Now,
you going to drive it?
yes, but not too often.
Right.
But I will say, it's still a car. At the end of the day, the car is not going to bring happiness to me.
Bring a lot
But
of
if it
happiness.
brings
It-
happiness to
it'll
other
bring-
people.
It'll bring
That'll bring happiness to you.
some some
It already
fun,
brought
some
happiness
joy.
to me,
all
I'll
that.
tell you that much.
But I ultimately,
Doesn't go with you.
one day I hope that the car and some of these other things can help some other people. That's why I've decided to share these things with other people,
Well, we're happy to
and that's
commit.
after more than a few years of not doing that.
Oh yeah, well we're more than enthusiastic to commit to help resources to get this out there like at nauseum, because your
Okay.
message and your purpose and all this stuff. What would be really great to me is if these guys end up with their dream jobs and their lives and they can help their family, and Bricks is the vehicle that helps them gets the distribution where they can build the companies of their dreams out of it, not just work there. But then Will's has a very specific, I take it all very personally. Miro with Will's and what he's doing, I don't sleep because I need to make this thing, it's the thing that I said it would to help that. With you, I'm very invested in your phase of life that you're in, the 67 to 68 when you check out. I want to make that as important.
I'll make it.
You're 67 to 98.
I will easily make it to 71.
98.
I'll make it to where my sisters made it, at least. In
You're
the
going all the way, baby.
early
but this part-
mid 60s or early 70s. You
You're
know,
going way past
I
that,
shouldn't joke about that, but
way
anyway.
past that. But
Okay.
if we could do this and we can make that, and you look back in 5-10 years and you're like, that crazy dumb thing where we were sweating in the driveway and I didn't know what Narndo was doing ended up being one of the best things we've ever done after a run like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut or all those things. That's my goal.
I'm honestly just kind of stunned that I'm here, but I'm glad I am.
Awesome. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
See you
it.
later.